So here we are entering week 12, and the Packers are in the playoff hunt. I made a video on it last week. We were sitting as the 8th seed, and it sounded crazy at the time, but the odds were somewhat there. There was a chance. And now beating the Lions, the odds of the Packers making the playoffs have gone up a considerable amount. And so I want to show you here where the Packers currently rank in the NFC playoff seeding. The Packers are currently 8th at 5-6. The Rams and Saints right below at 5-6, both of who we beat. And then we have the Seahawks at 7th at 6-5, so a game ahead of the Packers. And then we have the Vikings at 6-5, who are a game ahead of the Seahawks there, both teams at 6-5. And so when we look at the remaining schedules of the Packers, the Seahawks, and the Vikings, I think there's a good chance the Packers make the playoffs. Obviously, this team needs to keep playing as well as they have, which I think it's been very promising to see the offense taking huge strides forward. It was taking a long time in the middle of the season to get anything going on offense, and now the Packers have really found a way to move the ball consistently, even without some of our top weapons. No Aaron Jones last week, no Dontavian Wicks last week, no Luke Musgrave, and still the Packers put up 29 points against the Detroit Lions. And now I want to look at the Vikings and Seahawks remaining schedule, who are both teams who I said ahead of us. So the Vikings remaining schedule, the Bears, which is tonight, or if you're watching this the next day, they played the Bears. Hopefully the Bears win that one. Then they have Raiders, Bengals, Lions, Packers, Lions. So I would say the Raiders and Bengals game, the Vikings could win that. The Lions are a tough team. So those are two tough games for the Vikings near the end of the season. Then, of course, the Packers actually do play the Vikings once again, which means that we will have a chance to beat them. Let's say our records are still similar at that point. The Packers win that game. Obviously, that helps us and moves us in the direction of making the playoffs. Now let's look at the Seahawks remaining schedule. The next two are tough. 49ers and then Eagles. So two very tough games for the Seahawks. Then they have the Titans, Steelers, and Cardinals. So not a terribly tough final three games. The next two for the Seahawks are going to be tough. And if they lose, let's say, two of those games, the Packers win the next couple, Packers could be very much in the mix, which I think they really are right now. Now the Packers remaining schedule. The next one is the toughest one against the Chiefs next Sunday at Lambeau Field, Sunday night. That is going to be a very, very good game. And I remember before the season, looking at the schedule and doing my prediction and saying to myself, if we somehow beat the Chiefs, obviously things are going well in Green Bay. And I think right now, the way the Packers have played the past two games, if the Packers are somehow able to beat the Chiefs on Sunday, which I don't think it's that crazy, considering the way the Packers have played the past two games. At home, at Lambeau Field, the environment, I imagine, is going to be incredible. If the Packers win that game, we'll be 6-6, beating one of the best teams in the NFL with a very easy remaining schedule after that, which after the Chiefs, we have Giants, Buccaneers, Panthers, Vikings, Bears. So very winnable games for the final five for the Packers, which means that if the Packers can keep playing as they have, if the offense keeps moving the ball, if Jordan Love keeps taking these strides forward, the odds of the Packers making the playoffs seem somewhat reasonable, which sounds crazy to say. If you would have said that at 2-5, it would have been how is that possible? Because at 2-5, I think I said in a video, we're not making the playoffs. Clearly, at that point, maybe I judge a little too prematurely, and now here we are, winning 3 of our last 4 games, very much in the mix in the NFC. And so when you look at the fact that, this is Jordan Love's first year, we have so many young players, such a young offense. If the Packers can find a way to make the playoffs in Jordan Love's first season, that is clearly going to be a win for this organization, for Jordan Love, for this young team, for Brian Gutekunst, because I think most of us coming into the season were thinking that if Jordan Love can just show improvement throughout the year and by the end of the season prove that he is the guy, then the Packers are in a good position. I think making the playoffs seemed like what would be a bonus, and I don't think the Packers needed to make the playoffs for this to be seen as a successful season for the Packers. And so now considering that we may be in the mix in December, you can't really ask for more when it comes to such a young team, a young quarterback in Jordan Love. But that is all I have for this one. If you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next time.